Alright, I'm picking up, I should say picking up where I left off, but really I'm redoing this whole video, unfortunately. The last time I came out and did this run, the GoPro battery died. I had what I thought was my best motovlog to date, and of course the battery died and I didn't get any of the footage, so back to square one. It was a beautiful sunny ride this whole road. It's a little bit closer to dark tonight and a lot colder. It was 35 degrees last night, so the weather has finally made the big drop in North Florida. It was unusually warm in the 80s the last couple weeks, but then it started raining and then the temperature seems to have made a big change. So I was saying that I liked, last time when I did the video, I was saying how I liked the views like this of the nice country roads, farm property, no stop and go driving like the last videos, driving through downtown Gainesville with rush hour traffic and pulling up a couple feet, happen to stop and go, clutch in, clutch out, non-stop due to traffic. I'm heading up County Road 225. I layered up tonight. I got ready for the cold weather riding. The only thing I don't have on is the cold weather gloves, which I couldn't find, but I've got Polar Tech long underwear on, a t-shirt and a thick sweatshirt on underneath the leather jacket. Looks like they have some stuff going on at the, they're just ending again at the Auto Plus Raceway. Full face helmet, which is what I usually ride with anyway, if it's cold or not. I like a full face helmet, and it blocks most of the wind noise, so that recording with the mic is a lot better than with an open face or three-quarter face helmet. The last video I also talked about, to the right, all these pine trees, how Alachua County is a big business for blueberry farms. But the other thing that happens out on a lot of these properties with a lot of acreage, you see how these trees are smaller and then the ones behind them are a little bigger, and then here's another little strip, and then it looks like a whole bunch got harvested because there's nothing in this section, or there's little ones growing up there again. So I think it's a 15 or 20 year life cycle for them to grow up these pine trees before they cut them down and harvest them. So it's a long time to harvest the trees, 20 years to get your money. But I read that the county is even getting in on the action. They made like $50,000 last year, and they're expected to make, I think the number was 250 or 300,000 by the year 2020 by the property that they have that they're growing trees and then harvesting them. I guess different sections each year they cut down, making about 50,000 revenue for the county, which is in the scope of the budget not a lot of money, but it's a good amount of money for a piece of land that's just sitting there and growing up trees, and makes it more useful. They use the wood for boards, and they also make paper, like writing paper. A lot of big cattle farm out there. on the last run, which didn't record, again, I saw a bunch of wildlife on this trip north. I mean, you don't want to see deer on a bike, but when they're on the side of the road just grazing and eating, as long as they're not crossing the road. That purple house there was a football player that went to Gainesville High School, from what I understand. Purple is the color for the high school. And I don't know if he went, I guess he went pro, and then he built that property for his family. I also read in the news that Scott Weiland, from his main band was Stone Temple Pilots. I read that he passed away last week. I shouldn't say just passed away, he overdosed last week. We found him on his tour bus for his latest band. The coroner's report, however you pronounce it, coroner's report was that he had overdosed from a toxic mix of alcohol, cocaine, and MDA all mixed together. Everybody automatically assumed that it was heroin, that he overdosed on heroin, because he had a long, lengthy history of battle with heroin and other chemicals, but heroin was the main one. I'm very fortunate that I got the chance to see them in Miami Beach. I got to see Stone Temple Pilots. Interesting enough, it was put on by Nissan. It was about the time of the first or second year for the Nissan 350Z, little sports car. And they had some of them parked on the beach. As a promotion, Nissan hired Stone Temple Pilots to give a free performance, free concert on Miami Beach. And of course that was packed. A free concert by Stone Temple Pilots on Miami Beach. Great show. And I follow a lot of bands that even after they break up, like Stone Temple Pilots broke up, eventually they got back together, but they broke up and he formed a super group with some of the members from Guns N' Roses, Slash, Duff, and the drummer, I think his name's Matt, and then the guitarist from Wasted Youth. They've made a super group called Velvet Revolver, and they put out 2 different albums. And I liked that sound. That was an interesting concept, with basically Guns N' Roses fronted by Scott Weiland from Stone Temple Pilots. It sounded really good. And then he did some solo records also. He even did a Christmas album. A lot of people don't know that, but he did a album of Christmas covers as a solo album. And then his last group was Scott Weiland and The Wildabouts, and they also did covers of the other 2 bands that he was in. And he was just headed out on tour with them on the tour bus. I think they were a couple weeks into the tour when he passed away, when he had an overdose. So sad to his family, especially to his kids. He has 2 kids, a son and a daughter. But on the positive side, the time that they did get to spend with him and the positive impact and influence he had on the music community, he'll be a legend and he'll live on forever through his music. So That's awesome. Talented guy. Amazing artist. There's some other concerts coming to town, to Florida. I shouldn't say to town, they're coming in different parts of Florida. Tool and Primus are coming to town, which is a concert that I'd really like to see. It's coming to Orlando and Pensacola. Pensacola is probably too far, but Orlando would be a great show to go to. I've checked in a half a dozen times in the last several days during the daytime on the Ticketmaster trying to get tickets. The concert's at the end of January. I don't know if it's sold out already. I'm gonna have to actually just call Ticketmaster and find out if the concert's sold out or what the deal is. It keeps saying no tickets available at this time. Check back closer to the concert to see if more tickets are available. Tool's an amazing band, and his side projects, he's another guy with a bunch of side projects. Pucifer, Perfect Circle. I saw Perfect Circle, they're a great band. I'd like to see Pucifer whenever it comes around. One of Maynard James Keenan's other side bands. And another artist that I'm really excited to see, he's coming to Orlando and actually coming here to Gainesville. Hopefully I'd like to check out both of those shows if possible, is Scott Byram. He's a one-man band from Texas. A really cool artist, interesting background. I think he has about 10 albums out now. He's a great artist. But I haven't seen him come to Florida for a long time, so I'm looking forward to getting a chance to see Scott Byram in concert. If you're in Orlando or Gainesville, I highly recommend you check him out, or look him up on YouTube. Scott Byram, Scott H. Byram is his full name. Sometimes he goes to that by the full name. You can see some more trees. The ones on the right are smaller than the ones on the left side of the road. So these ones on the right are probably 5 years. The ones on the left side of the road are probably 10 years or so. So that's the difference between the size difference. I think when they harvest them, cut them down too, that they actually burn the ground where the trees are. So they burn all the weeds and everything down, and that helps the trees grow. It kind of fertilizes the ground when they plant the next crop. I think they burn it down and then they let the ground sit for a year or something before they plant the next round of trees. This big property there. Some of these people have 50, 100, 200 acres up here. It'd be great to have that much land, have a farm. Woo, it's getting cold. It's not even dark yet, it is cold. It's probably going down to 30 again, or 35 tonight. But I still like to go out and ride. Even when I lived in Pittsburgh, I remember going out on Christmas if there was no snow on the ground, just to say that I went out and rode on Christmas. It was freezing, but I've ridden before in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on Christmas. Looks like I'm coming up here to the end of the road. This is where it runs into Waldo Road. Beautiful. If you ever pass through, there's a little, I'll pull in up here on the right. There's a little bar here at the junction for 301 and County Road 225. It's called the Oasis, aptly named bar. A little oasis in the middle of nowhere. It's a package store and a bar. And looks like you got some motorcycles here.